Sometimes we don't like what's happening, but we always are at choice who we choose to be in the space of what's happening. And that will go far towards determining what happens next. And I think that's very relevant to our situation as Americans today, particularly for those of us who are not pleased with what is essentially undermining of American democracy and our Constitution that is happening right now. In medicine, we transitioned from the old allopathic model of just not taking care of your body. And then if you get sick, you seek external remedies to eradicate or suppress symptoms. We've gone far past that to a more integrative model where in order to heal the body when there's critical illness, you have a body, mind, and spirit approach. You understand that there are psychological factors to ameliorating the effects of disease. There are emotional, spiritual factors, as well as the medical and biological factors. The same is true right now. We have more than just traditional activism to take care of. There's a lot of traditional activism that we do need to attend to. There's no doubt about that. And I want to talk in a minute about what's happening with this ridiculous and pretty horrifying scheme going on in Texas right now, where the president has come out and said, well, I need 5 more seats in Texas. He's looking for seats in Texas and elsewhere. They're not planning to just stop there. So the governor of Texas is working with him so that they can have 5 more congressional seats because they have a few, right? We have right now, I think it's 219 Republican, 212 in the hands of the Democrats. If we had a parliamentary system, it would be a whole different thing. But our founders didn't set it up that way. Remember, this president had already said, he was speaking to a Christian conference, and he said, I just need you to show up for the next 4 years, then you won't even have to vote anymore. We will have fixed everything. As though getting to the point where people don't have to vote is his idea of fixing everything. This is a man who's already talking about running in 2028. There is no respect here for our constitutional process. We, the American people, are supposed to choose our leaders in the House of Representatives specifically every 2 years. And that's why Abraham Lincoln said, referring to the fact that we could theoretically kick them all out in every 2 years, he said that there's not that much evil any American government can perpetrate, he said, as long as the people remain vigilant. And a large part of why we got here is because, referring to what Lincoln said, we the people were not vigilant. We let a political class take over like they knew more what they were doing. Let me tell you, some Democrats did that absolutely as much as Republicans did, like they knew what they were doing. Clearly, people who did not know what they were doing. Right now, you and I have to reclaim the role of citizenship. And that means on a level of body, mind, and spirit. On the level of mind, on the level of psychology, we have to be courageous. And we must not normalize authoritarianism. That's what I'm afraid is starting to happen. At first, a lot of people had to wake up and get out of denial that this was even happening. Now, my concern is that I see some people, I heard of one young woman who said, well, people lived their lives during the fall of Rome. No, 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 no. Please don't let yourself go there. Do not normalize this. It is not normal. There is nothing normal. There is nothing constitutional. There is nothing acceptable or to be tolerated in a free society that a bunch of masked goons just go grabbing people with no sense of, well, we're grabbing them because we have on a list here that they are violent criminals. No, nothing like that. They just take who they take, and there's very little that we can say. That's the psychological. Also, intellectual, read up on American history. One of the reasons that this happened, there's so many vectors that led to this. I've been saying for years, we need a pro-democracy movement in the United States of America. Too many people weren't in love with what this country is about anymore, and too many children weren't even taught. In 1776, and this is a problem I've had with many people on the left, that we were too cool to talk about the Declaration of Independence and these fundamental principles that were bequeathed to us. And yes, they are exceptional. We've never fully actualized them. Nobody's saying we ever have. And 41 of the 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence were slave owners. All that is true, but the principles themselves are what have allowed us to expand the democratic franchise when we have, whether it had to do with the abolition of slavery, women's suffrage, the civil rights movement, and so forth. People stopped passing on generation to generation what we're supposed to be fighting for. This is something that is bigger than your rights or my rights. It has to do with the tenets of a free society. When you have a nation, and this was the first nation ever founded on the principle that all men are created equal. That was radical in 1776, and it's radical today. And it is a spiritual as well as a political concept. And that's what you're standing for. All men are created equal. All men given by their creator inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And the very idea that the government is working for us and not the other way around. It's very easy for people to come take that away from you if you're not embracing it. Or if you just kind of farmed out your thinking about it, the political class will handle it. Who clearly, I remind you, did not handle it. So the people have to step in. We let this happen in too many ways. And now we have to be like athletes around all this. Things that, it's so depressing. It's so horrifying, some of what's happening. And every day you see more and more of it. So it would be very easy to normalize it, very easy to just kind of suppress it, get it out of our minds. No, 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 no. We have to show up, each and every one of us. Check out what's happening in Texas. I was born and raised there, and it's heartbreaking. But I know the people of Texas, and hell no. It's alive and well in Texas. We need that hell no alive and well in these United States, and it can't be that other people will handle it. You and I need to get in there now. Thanks.